The 2013 football season is underway, and the Coyotes are smiling. How's everybody doing? I'm Jay Elsen, and this is Coyote Corner. Well, on the heels of last year's frustrations, the USD football program needed a win, and they got it Saturday afternoon against UC Davis. It was the fourth meeting between the former Great West Conference rivals since 2009, and like the previous three, this one would go down to the wire. Let's take a look back at the highlights. Coyotes had won 10 straight home openers dating back to 2003. And after a sluggish start, the offense starts to put things together in the second. Give it off to Terrence Terry on the end around. He'll come up just short of the end zone. 21-yard gain gives the Yotes a first and goal. And one play later, Josh Vandermont gets USD on the board. 3-yard touchdown caps a 10-play, 77-yard drive. And it's 7-0 Coyotes. Ensuing possession, the Aggies appear to answer. Jimmy Lockray connects with Tom Hemmingson on a 27-yard touchdown, but hold it. It was called back due to holding, and that forced Davis to try a field goal. Brady Stewart hooked it left from 45 yards out. The Aggies get nothing. They would threaten again before the half, but the Yotes D stiffens inside the 5. That brings on Stewart again, this time for a 20-yard attempt, but Dylan Knox having none of it. He comes off the edge, untouched for the block, and the Coyotes' lead stays at 7 as they go to the half. Same score in the fourth, but the Yotes on the move. Vandermont steps up in the pocket, finds a wide-open Terrence Terry for a 15-yard pickup on 3rd and 10. USD unable to get it closer than that. Had to settle for a 39-yard field goal attempt from Miles Bergner. He missed one from 30 earlier in the day, but this one was right down the middle. 10-0 Coyotes at that point. Davis not dead yet, though. Aggies march right down the field with a lot of help from Gabe Manzanares. Carries 6 times for 40 yards on the drive, the last of which went for a 1-yard touchdown. And UC Davis right back in it within 3. The Aggies elected to kick it deep, and the Coyotes would never give it back. USD's tandem of redshirt freshman running backs Trevor Bama and Jordan Roberts helped grind away the final 3 minutes and 45 seconds, and the Coyotes hang on to win it by a score of 10-7. Bama and Roberts combined for 162 yards rushing in their first collegiate game. Coyotes went for 195 as a team. Sophomore linebacker Kean Loggy led a solid defensive effort, 9 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble. Big plays on special teams as well. No question, this was a complete team win.
Any win feels good right now. I mean, on offense, we were there. We had some shots. You know, we make a couple plays here and there. We could have really opened up the game for our defense, but you know, you got to give it up to the defense for, you know, winning this game for us.
I talked to the guys, and before the game, I was like, hey, adversity's going to hit us in the face today. Band together, stay strong. That's the difference between this year and last year. When things go tough, and you know we have them game breakers. You know, 7-7 game. It's going to be up to us to stick together and pull out the win.
Yeah, it feels good. You know, it's been a while since we had our win, but you know, it's just something to, you know, grow on and get some more at the end of the season.
Feels awesome. I mean, you know, all those losses have mounted up, and people all they're talking about, and we just knew we needed to start out with this win this season to get this campus back going and get our team back rolling.
The Coyotes got more good news on Sunday as freshman kicker Miles Bergner was named Missouri Valley Football Conference Special Teams Player of the Week. In addition to hitting the deciding 39-yard field goal on Saturday, Bergner also placed all 5 of his punts inside the UC Davis 25-yard line and 2 of them inside the 12. Here's head coach Joe Glenn.
He had some tough goes at it, but he hung in there, kept competing, made a big kick at the end and a big kickoff, and I'm real proud of him.
Still plenty more to come on the Coyotes win over UC Davis. Head coach Joe Glenn will join us in a bit, but first, Midco SN analyst Andre Field will stop by to talk about Saturday's storylines. You're watching Coyote Corner. And welcome back to Coyote Corner. Now that we've seen how things played out on Saturday, it's time to dig a little deeper into that win over UC Davis. And for that, We bring in Midco SN analyst Andre Fields to talk about Saturday's storylines. And Andre, only fair that we start with the big fellas up front. So much was made about the improvement of the offensive line coming into this season, and we got to see that firsthand on Saturday. USD racked up 195 yards rushing on the day. Josh Vandermountain, who was sacked 21 times last year, stayed upright all day, and this group just flat out won the line of scrimmage all day long.
Yeah, they did, and that's exactly what you have to do to win football and to win in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. We saw firsthand what that offseason has done for USD's offensive line, as well as the continuity. They played with confidence, created big holes for the running backs.
Of course, that group came into the year with 43 combined starts just last year alone. That helps a lot. Just having that confidence of knowing that everybody knows their assignments, everybody knows what's going on at all times, and that camaraderie really was apparent as well on Saturday.
Yeah, the camaraderie, knowing where your guy is going to be, how he's going to block a certain formation, what he likes, what he doesn't like, all of those things come into play with an offensive line. And when you get an offensive line working as a unit, good things happen.
Well, another position that got a lot of attention in the offseason was running back. The coaching staff has been raving about these two redshirt freshman running backs, Trevor Bama and Jordan Roberts, and they certainly lived up to the hype on Saturday.
They run straight and they run hard, and with our offense, with that zone read, that's what we need, and it's great to see those guys run downhill.
They hold on to that ball and they keep pushing forward, which is awesome, and that's good for us. We appreciate that. We work hard to get the movement up front, and the harder they run just makes us want to block that much more. They got a lot of carries ahead of them. A lot of touchdowns for sure.
Now, Bama and Roberts combined for 162 yards rushing in their first collegiate game, and as Cody O'Neill indicated right there, Andre, the future seems awfully bright for these two young men.
Yes, it does. You have to have a running game to balance out an offense, and what we saw on Saturday was the Yotes not only have one running back, they have two, and they have two very good ones. And yes, the future is bright. When you got two running backs, both redshirt freshmen, man, it's going to be a long 4 years for other teams playing against USD.
That's exactly right. I think everybody in the league has probably taken notice after that effort. Can they do it again? That remains to be seen. But nonetheless, a very good start. On the other side of the ball, the defense looked much improved as well. Gave up 267 yards of total offense, but they did not give up the big play. And for more on that, here's Tyler Starr.
Law of the chain, we're strong as our weakest link. We were counting on you to be somewhere, you got to be there. So we put accountability and discipline into our defensive strategy, and I think it paid off.
Not only, Andre, did they not give up the big play, they actually made a few of their own on defense.
Yeah, I think UC Davis was somewhere around 31% conversions on third down. And what that means is you're not giving up the big play, and you're actually getting your defense off the field, giving the offense more possessions. And by doing that, you build confidence, Jay. You get the crowd excited, you get the offense excited, and of course you keep points off the board.
Kianagi had a sack as well, a couple of forced fumbles as well. They recovered one of those for a turnover, so a lot of good things happened defensively on that day, and of course only giving up 7 points as well. No critical errors on Saturday either. We saw it several times last year, Andre, whether it was a penalty or a turnover, and a lot of mistakes coming at critical times in games. No such problem on Saturday, though.
Yeah, and that was very encouraging for Coyote fans to see, because there was times in the game where you thought, is this going to be the moment like last season where they're going to go into a shell, where they're going to start to get tight and make those mistakes? They didn't do it. They were able to come back, pound the ball, get first downs, make big plays defensively. Special teams did a great job also. And so that's one of the areas that they really improved from last season, and it's very encouraging going forward.
All right, finally now, the Coyotes finished strong, and a lot of these elements that we've already talked about here contributed to this. USD got the ball back with 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining, up 10-7. UC Davis had 2 timeouts remaining as well, but they never got it back. That's something I'm not sure this team would have been able to do just last year.
Well, they couldn't do it last year. We seen that firsthand, that they would go 3 and out. They would have a turnover. They would have some offsides penalty that pushed them from a 3rd and short to a 3rd and long. Not Saturday. We saw that they were disciplined. They made the plays when they had to. They got the first downs when they needed to. And that is something that only helps build confidence. But, man, is that exciting for Coyote fans going forward.
A lot of coaching points certainly going to come out of any first game, but also a lot of signs of encouragement for this team as well. Definitely. All right, well, that's our take on Saturday's game. When we come back, the head coach will give us his. Joe Glenn joins us next. And welcome back to Coyote Quarter. And as we told you earlier, USD opening the season on a 10-7 win over the University of California, Davis. And head coach Joe Glenn joins us now to talk about that victory. And Joe, it's a victory. It wasn't pretty, but it got the job done. And that after last year, all the frustration that you guys experienced had to feel awfully good.
It wasn't pretty to who? It was pretty to us. We needed a victory, and kids went out and fought hard against a pretty tough football team and got the victory, and it was a good win for South Dakota.
All right, let's take a look at how it all happened, and it starts in the first quarter. Missed opportunity early. You guys get a turnover on them. They fumble it deep in their own end. You take over. I think it was at their 19-yard line. End up not getting anything as Miles Bergner misses a 30-yard field goal. That one kind of hurts because you'd like to come away with something there.
Well, it's a little scary in that you go back a year, and we didn't make some of those opportunities in close games, and but we powered through it and went on and got the touchdown and the field goal to win the game, so we played through it.
The offense struggled a little bit at the beginning. A lot of people expect that, especially in the first game, just kind of shaking some of that rust off, getting some flow together. Finally got something going, though, toward the end of the first quarter, a drive that carried into the second as you guys moved it 10 plays and 77 yards and got in the end zone on that Josh Vanderbont 3-yard touchdown run.
Good run by Josh. Option play. He ducked up inside and took it in the end zone. I will say this, we put in some new schemes, and I thought the schemes worked about as good as possible for the first game. I thought we got some really good blocking up front, some hard running from Trevor Bama, Jordan Roberts, and we're averaging almost 5 yards a carry on first down. So some good things were happening even though we weren't putting points on the board.
So you guys go up 7-0 at that point. Score stayed that way until late in the second. UC Davis knocking on the door late in that half, say an effective 2-minute drill, move it down pretty quickly on you, but the defense really stiffened up inside the 5-yard line.
We played great defense. Held them scoreless for 56 plus minutes, and stiffened up with our back to the goal post, and real proud of our defense and the plays that we made. They didn't get anything easy on them.
Of course, the key play in that drive was the final play of the half. They set up for a 20-yard field goal. Seems like a chip shot, but Dylan Knox comes off the edge, gets the block, and they go into the half scoreless.
Well, hats off to special teams coordinator Tim Triplett. He noticed that they weren't kicking quite fast enough, and he designed a little outside block, and Dylan came off. Aaron Swift down inside really caved the corner in, and Dylan laid out and got the block. It was well designed. 7-0
Coyotes at the half, and the score stayed that way into the fourth quarter. The offense puts together a nice long drive again with the Bruise brothers, as you like to call them, leading the way. You learned a lot about the character of your freshman kicker, I think, here too, as well, as he had missed earlier, comes back, drills a 39-yarder late in the game to make it a 2-score game.
Right. Miles Bergner from Longmont, Colorado, his first game as a collegian, and then he turns around with just minutes on the board and knocks the ball up against the dome wall on his kickoff. So hats off to Miles Bergner, who was named the Special Teams Player of the Week in the Missouri Valley Football Conference.
And so at that point, it's 10-0. You're feeling pretty good, but the job is not done. And that's something that you struggled with at different times last year, not being able to complete a game. And this time the Aggies do respond. They move it down pretty quickly on you. And they go 75 yards in less than 4 minutes. Gabe Manzanares, the running back, caps it off with a 1-yard touchdown plunge. They're right back in this thing at 10-7.
Oh, yeah, they're right back in it. But turn the tables around, they kick off to us, and we had the ball over 10 minutes in the fourth quarter, and that last drive sealed it for us. We drove the ball from our own 25 maybe all the way down to their 25, and then we nailed on the ball the last 3 plays of the game.
And specifically on that last drive, you take over 3:45. That's a lot of time. They had a couple of timeouts as well, so you knew you had to move the sticks to burn the clock and salt this thing away. And we've talked a lot in the offseason about the offensive line, all the progress that they've made. I thought this is where we saw it clear as day. They got the push. Trevor and Jordan able to run downhill is another term you like to use. And they got those first downs and allowed you to grind out the clock.
Yeah, they had 8 guys in the box, and when you're working downhill against 8, you don't have a hat for that hat. And our runners were just hitting it hard and breaking tackles, and that was a game-winning drive, something we couldn't get done a year ago. In the first game of the season, we had a great crowd behind our team, our fans, our students, our band. Everything mattered at that time, and the kids just iced the game and took it and ran the clock out on Cal Davis.
Overall, it's 10-7 win. You go to 1-0 on the season with Kansas up next, but it's a starting point. Obviously, a lot of coaching points are going to come out of any first game of the year, but overall, your impression, just how happy are you with the way things played out on Saturday?
I'm real happy with the win, but you got to look at your defense play like they did. That's a different defense than we saw a year ago, where we were gave up a lot of yards, and this time we're playing some hard-nosed, tough football, sure tackling. We did not fumble the ball on offense. We did not throw an interception on offense. So we guarded our defense pretty good, and we did a nice job of keeping them from good field position most of the time. And I just thought with the freshman punter, freshman running backs, a lot of freshmen on the field, the Coyotes came through and did a great job of getting the victory and icing it on them at the end.
Leaders played a big role in that game on Saturday. Tyler Starr was one of them, and we're going to get a look behind the scenes with the man who wears number 11 for USD right after this. And welcome back. Well, Tyler Starr is without question one of the best linebackers in USD history. His 18 career sacks rank third all-time at the school, and his 9 forced fumbles are tops among active FCS players. He's a preseason All-American and on the watch list for the Buck Buchanan Award for a second straight year. Football is his business. And last week, we got a chance to listen in as number 11 went to work.
This game cleats? Yeah. Where's the Addy Zeros? I don't like the Addy Zeros. I don't like the cleats. I don't like the cleats. They're the triangle ones, aren't they? Sanger! Hit me open! Hands for days, baby, all day. Limp biscuit! It ain't hot, but it's hot. No, that'd be way worse. What we do? Bring it down! Bring it down! Yo, all right, Coop. They're gonna beat us up again today. Yeah. Throwing us down. Good work. DC, hold it down now. Don't let nobody through there. That's where I'm coming.
And then, just like it's
what's
scripted.
What's your personnel?
12.
12. Coach, want me to try inside?
Waiting.
What's coming our way? I messed up on that Nova already.
What was that last one? Full swipe?
Yeah, the Nova first swipe. I had a wing, and I went inside it, so we got outside. I don't know why I went inside.
Yeah, we're off.
I must have thought it was a tight end wing. Yeah. G! Broncos left! Fire! Yeah, one here.
Smoke! 280! Son!
Hey, 2 goes out, I gotta go, right?
What's that?
2 goes out, I gotta go.
Same angle as the bubble. 45 to out. Yep, 45 to out. I think you're fine now.
Well, with UC Davis in the rearview mirror, Starr and the Coyotes have turned their attention to Kansas. We'll preview the matchup with the Jayhawks when we come back. And welcome back. With a win under their belt, the USD football team will now embark on a tough 3-game road trip starting this Saturday at Kansas. Needless to say, this game is a little more intriguing given what happened last weekend with 7 FCS schools scoring upsets over FBS programs. The Coyotes have, of course, done it before at Minnesota in 2010, and Joe Glenn says there's no reason they can't do it again.
We all know the old cliche, they all put their pants on the same way, one leg at a time. I think that's really, really true, and it's becoming more true. There's a lot of good football players in our division, and I think it played out at Manhattan, Kansas, played out in Florida, I mean all over the country, and Oregon State, and why not? We've got good football players, we got talent, and tough kids, so we're going there with the idea that we can win this game.
The Jayhawks were 1-11 overall and 0-9 in the Big 12 last season, which was Charlie Weiss's first at the helm. This will be their season opener, so the Coyotes are going into the game a little blindly, but Coach Glenn says he's got a pretty good idea of what to expect.
Well, they got a quarterback transferred from BYU that I knew about, Heaps. Good quarterback, can really throw it, and is mobile. He can run it. So I'm saying Coach Weiss will probably try and throw the ball, and then blend in their running game. Defensively, we think they're going to be in a 3-4, and that's what we practice against all spring and all fall against our own team. So we have some experience going against a 3-4 defense.
All right, USD and Kansas will kick it off at 6 p.m. Saturday night in Lawrence. First ever meeting between the Coyotes and Jayhawks. We will be there. We'll be back here to break it all down for you next Tuesday night on another episode of Coyote Corner. We'll see you then.